Hey, what's up, Raider Nation? Happy Wednesday. It is day three of the NFL Scouting Combine. What takeaways do we have from yesterday? We kind of went over that, so I think there's going to be more to come, after today. Yesterday was mainly the Spy Tech interview or press conference. Today I just want to get into we kind of know all the obvious. Fernando Mendoza, that's who we want as our QB. What are we going to do at number two? We all know that the need is really building the trenches, building the lines. Um, who should we pick, as our second pick in the draft, in the second round? 36 is not a bad place to be. We could have been 33, but we beat the Chiefs, and I mean, I'm not mad about that, beating the Chiefs ever. So it would have been nice to get 33, but 36 is not a bad spot as well. Um, Now, I think for the second pick, I want to get an O lineman. Um, Now, the top O lineman is Miami's Francis Mauigawa. He's widely considered a top offensive line prospect, known for his ability as a right tackle and anchor. So that's the guy, out of Miami. I mean, he's projected number one. He's projected to be the top 10, top five pick. So he's an offensive tackle. He's 6'6", 335 pounds. He's a 3-year starter with elite pass blocking grades. And he's declared in the draft. Now, recent mock drafts have him placed with Arizona at number three and the Giants at number five. So, is there a possibility for us to trade a couple picks to move up and get him? Highly doubtful, but you never know, right? Let's see how Spytech and Kubiak played the game, but that would be awesome. And no doubt, I want to get one of these top linemen, for our second pick for sure. Last year we got Jack Besh, I believe, for our second pick, which is great. But we could get wide receivers. I think in the later rounds, especially with how many wide receivers we have and how many we drafted last year. So I know we still don't have our number one, but if we build that offensive line again, um, we could build our top receiver for now with what we have because we have talent. I went over that yesterday. Um, so there's this if we could land him, I'd love to get him. So just look up Francis Mauigawa's highlights on YouTube. He's a beast, and I'm sure you watched Miami football. Anyways, it's kind of hard to avoid if you watch college football. So you might be aware of him if you watch college football. Um, the top 26 NFL draft offensive line prospects. Francis Mauigawa is at one. Spencer Fanu, offensive tackle out of Utah. He's highly regarded for his technique and athleticism. So maybe that's someone that we can get. Now, again, these are top 10, right? Um, Kedion Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama. Top tier talent with significant experience. Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle out of Utah, ranked consistently among the top tackles. Moreau Freeling, offensive tackle, Georgia, a standout tackle prospect. Um, Ola Vega Loani, Penn State. Sorry, I butchered his name, but top 10, we might start hearing it more often. Then I'll get it down. Identified as the top interior offensive lineman, Connor Liu, um, out of Auburn, highlighted as top center prospect. Going into that, I think that's what we need to look into for our second pick. I just named 10 guys. I'm sure we could get one of them, with number 36, or we could trade up and try to get, the top one of the top three or top five. Um, I'm going to keep saying this, and I'm sure and everyone's saying this, but I believe we need to build our O and D line with a mix of veteran free agents, Trent Williams and Trey Hendrickson, and the draft. Right now, I was kind of thinking about this after the news broke yesterday about Trent Williams. If he ends up becoming a free agent, if negotiations fall out with the Niners and they just let him go, he will be one of the hottest, not just linemen, but just one of the hottest free agents on the market. And I wonder if that drops Braden Smith's value, which can, kind of position us to scoop him up while everyone goes after Williams for top dollar. Um, there's a lot of options, Nation. Braden Smith is someone that I've been interested in as well. We'll see what I mean. He's becoming a free agent, but we'll see what Indy does with Braden Smith. I'd love to have Trent Williams, but I know he's going to be very expensive. But let's see what happens there. Let's just keep our eyes on that. Being that Spytech does not want to start a rookie QB, what do you want to do, Raider Nation? Pick up a veteran bridge or start O'Connell? Please leave your comments. Message me, Raider Nation. Let me know. We want to know. It'd be interesting to kind of get everyone's thoughts because I know it's probably going to be 50-50. Now, that's one of the top free agents is, or probably the top free agent is Malik Willis. I don't think it's practical for us because we're drafting Fernando Mendoza. And Malik Willis, he's a top free agent, so he's going to want some money and he's not going to want to play backup, right? So I think he's off the table. Daniel Jones, are the Colts going to keep him? Maybe, maybe not, depending on, how he's recovering from that injury. Indy might try to go another direction. We'll see. But same thing. I don't know if Daniel Jones is going to want to ride the backup train because he is still young and he has a lot to prove, or unless he has no choice, right? Aaron Rodgers, he still has not officially committed with Pittsburgh. I don't want to deal with that, and he's going to want a lot of money too, right? Unless Brady and Spytech could convince him to be on like a cheap 1 year deal just to give him a chance to continue to play in the league. But I see him going back to Pittsburgh if he does return. I mean, McCarthy's there. There's that, and they did pretty well last season. So I don't think that that's a possibility. Russell Wilson, that doesn't excite me. Maybe if you could get him for a league minimum and we just bring him in to compete with O'Connell for that number one spot. Sure, why not? Marcus Mariota, that one's intriguing. He did well for us when Carr was having, red zone problems, right? The year that we had Mariota, we would kind of rotate him in, to run in some TDs when we were, a few yards away from the end zone. I think Mariota contributed to us making the playoffs that year. When was it? 2020, 2021, I believe, when we played Cincinnati in the wild card. Underrated what he did for us. So we used him, even though he was a backup. We used him in situations where Derek Carr was having trouble. Kenny Pickett, no. I mean, we already saw what Kenny Pickett could do with us. We gave Kenny Pickett a chance a couple times, and he just, I mean, I know he didn't get enough reps, but the mistakes that he was making, no, Jimmy G, of course not. We don't want him back here. He already robbed us. Mitch Trubisky, he's a depth option. I don't know about that. I haven't been seeing much of Mitch Trubisky lately. He's with Buffalo right now. They're gonna let him go. Case Keenum, Chicago Bears, experienced backup, and then we have Joe Flacco, veteran option. I mean, if we could get Joe Flacco for league minimum and he wants to be a mentor, sure, that could probably be an option too. But the most important thing is what's it going to cost, So if we could pick up one of these veteran bridge quarterbacks, sure. But right now, I think Aiden O'Connell is capable of starting until Mendoza's ready. But I brought it up yesterday with Kirk Cousins, and I'll bring it up again. If we could get one of these experienced veterans to be in that quarterback room with Fernando Mendoza and O'Connell, that could be nothing but a plus. But I think over that whole list that I went through, Mariota is kind of interesting because I know we could get him for nothing, right? And he's familiar with some guys that are still on the team, and he did well with us when we had him for that little bit that he played. He had some important snaps. So let me know your thoughts, Raider Nation. Let's pay attention to day 3 of the combine, see what comes out from today. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your hump day. And peace out, Raider Nation.